stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Exploding your rear. Feel our voices.
Yeah, Voice of the Republic. We can't stop talking about The Force Awakens. This is Ed.
This is Michael.
And this is Carl.
Oh my God.
It's been really hard. Like recording this episode's been so hard because like we just want to talk, and like trying to get it into segments is like the hardest part because we just want to keep talking. We want to talk about everything, and keeping the path is really hard. So before we get off track again, let's get to Luke. Oh, please God.
Yeah. I know. I know if we don't stop, we'll never be able to upload a 6-hour show. So
yeah, it's going to be
awesome. Watch it anyway. Except us.
Watch this be like our most watched episode. It's going to be like 20 hours long, and people are just going to be like, we love it. So
because
we hate that you didn't upload the movie. Sorry, Mike, I just stepped on you.
Because we're gonna be the ones watching it over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so good. Look at us. Look at that. Mike's hair looks terrific.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
You start, Ed. You start.
We didn't get a chance to get into this last episode, and that's Luke Skywalker.
Well, here's the funny thing, because not to step over you now,
which you're gonna did.
Because I'm going to, because here it is. I'm going to set it up for you, because I honestly forgot Luke Skywalker was in the film. I'm not going to lie. Because to me that wasn't like, I'm the journey, not the endpoint sort of guy. So that's why like I was just like ready to move on with the next segment. I honestly forgot Luke was even in the film, despite having an incredibly like big presence in the film without being on camera. Like the whole story is the search of Luke, and I totally forgot about that because I'm so excited about everything that went on. But Luke is there, and how excited were you? How excited were you?
I was stoked that everybody came back. I was stoked that he had what he called a contractually obligated beard. I was stoked that they made Leia and Mark Hamill lose weight for the role. They went through all this shit. Everything's been in secrecy. We don't know anything about Luke's story. But just like you, because I'm a Luke motherfucker, the story starts going. We're getting to know the new characters. We're hanging out with Han and Chewie. We're doing all these things. We're engrossed. About every 15 minutes, I'll be like, awesome. Wait, where is Luke? Like, they're talking about it, but like, okay, I get that, but nothing, And we're going, and like, you're picking up on the beats, and you're going there, and here comes the rhythm of the movie and the story. We're getting near the climax. I'm like, oh shit, they're setting up for the attack run. That's just like the test. Where the fuck is Luke in all this? The movie's almost over.
We could really.
He's gonna walk in at the end, and then and then it's over, and I'm like, oh my god, it's over. They blew the shit up. It's over. And then it kept going. I'm like, is it gonna go for another 2 hours so we can see Luke? Because I'm ready. I'm gonna go get more popcorn and soda, and I'm gonna be here all night long watching this.
Surprise! Episode 8 starts now.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, I was ready.
Secret sequel.
Not going anywhere. Holy shit! And it's amazing because he had such presence without even being there. Based on, again, we know you saw the original trilogy. We don't have to talk much about that. The idea that everything we know from the original trilogy is now part of their mythology in this new trilogy. Everybody knows who Skywalker is. They know him as the hero of Yavin. They know him as the military leader, and they know him as the new Jedi who went and started this order. And they know him as the guy who disappeared.
Right.
So, huge mystery. He left his lightsaber, and that's just shocking.
Well, it'll be true though. That wasn't his lightsaber. That was Anakin's lightsaber. Because by that point,
oh god,
he has the green lightsaber.
I'm embarrassed. Hold on, I got to go break my Star Wars card in half.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
You're
like
right.
I heard some people saying that, and I'm kind of wondering if that's not an important distinction in this story, is whose lightsaber it really is, and I think that really kind of weighs into the whole story, because you have Kylo Ren who's worshiping Darth Vader and not Anakin, and the lightsaber skips over him, and Rey's the one that pulls it. But we're getting on to an entirely different subject. We're talking about Luke.
Yeah, but that's an amazing point.
But it's Rey who ends up bringing that lightsaber to Luke as kind of like, here's my card. You know, it's like,
yeah.
And you, like, without saying a word, you can see it in Luke's face that he knows Han's dead because he's strong in the Force. He has to know it. He has to know that Ren killed him. You know, because he had to have felt that ripple from Ren. You know, and here's this girl just showing up out of nowhere with his dad's lightsaber. You know, and and this is basically how his last adventure started. Was someone giving him this motherfucking lightsaber. You know, it's like, and then we're just like, whoom,
yeah.
We're ready for that new trilogy now.
And that's why it's so exciting for that setup, because he hasn't seen that lightsaber since he fought Vader on Bespin.
Mm-hmm.
It went down the fucking tubes. So that's why it was like, why is this in the basement of that lady? And so he's also the guy who, and this is the other thing. Fuck the Kylo Ren episode. I'm going to bring it up here. A lot of folks who grew up with A New Hope, Joel Carroll included, were really bothered that they set up a perfectly fine story about Vader. Ben said he was my pupil till he turned evil. I did my best to teach him. I thought I could be as good as Yoda. I was wrong. It didn't work out. He ends up killing all the Jedi, you know, and that was the story of Darth Vader. Not that he was your father, but this was a guy that went nuts and killed everybody because he felt the dark side was better. It looks like we get to finally get that story in the form of Luke and Kylo Ren. And that's so... My nipples are hard thinking about that, because Luke knows that story. That's the first story he heard from Ben Kenobi, and now he is that story. He became it became prophecy. Luke decided, we're going to have a new Jedi Order, or at least I'm going to start bringing all the Force-sensitive people around. I can train them. I can do this. And of all the people, Han and Leia's kid, and he trains them, and guess what? He's the motherfucker that goes dark side. That's why he's shut down his order. That's why he went into hiding. He's like, you know what? This is something people shouldn't fuck with. Let's just not have any more Force. It's done. And then here comes this girl shoving his history in his face. Ugh.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that's the other thing that really resonated with me from this story, is you can hide from the battle, but the battle is eventually going to find you. Because Han, he tries to shake it off, and it still finds him. Luke,
that's the last piece of your puzzle, Carl. Perfect.
Yeah, so
you're genius.
It's like it's so well written. Like, this is the thing that gets me so excited about this film, is like, people will have valid complaints that it does borrow from other elements of Star Wars heavily. I don't think that's a problem, because this is just so well written for a chapter one. Because it all comes together, and it all connects, and I don't know, it's so well written for change that it's so exciting. I don't know.
Every single bit of it, like, I love Luke Skywalker, always have. Like, it kind of goes without saying, but and Luke Skywalker has always been a legend, and the character is so key to pop culture, and there's a myth that surrounds him, and we were there at his birth, and we were there when he came to greatness, and then when he disappeared, and then 30-some years go by, and he comes back. I'm getting choked up. He's back, and we're still here, and it's just like, it's just amazing, and it was done so well and so tastefully, and he didn't say a word, and he basically just...
But you could just read it on his face.
Yeah.
His face wasn't just like, why, look, you found me. It was, he knew she was coming anyway, and there's his destiny and his past all there, and there's his, like, hiding was over. And,
and we deserve it. You know what I mean?
I know, but that was the part that got me, and that's the part that gets me now. And again, not a word was spoken. It was just looks exchanged. And her holding out the saber of, like, this is yours, and this is both our destinies are tied up. right here, right now, and let's go to the future together. You know, just
You know, and the nice thing that they did with the narrative was they made it about the search for Luke Skywalker, which I think is what the fans have been feeling for the past like decades. You know, it's like the fans have been saying, "Where the fuck is Luke Skywalker? Like, where the fuck is Star Wars? Like, where?" You know, it's like we keep on getting all this stuff, and it's like it's not what we want. And, you know, and the whole movie is about them essentially finding Star Wars, and at the very end of it, you have this big emotional moment where we fucking find Star Wars. We find Luke Skywalker. It's like, it's been here this whole time. Where it's like, yes, it's finally arrived, and like, and that was the thing is like, I did not cry through the entire movie. I seriously thought I was, especially when like Han dies and everything. That moment, it's funny because you guys are getting all choked up. I had that moment. Like, that was the moment where I almost cried. Like, of all the things, it was that those faces of emotion between Rey and Luke. Like, and it said so much. And like I said, it wasn't just them. I think it was also like an embodiment of how Star Wars fans felt by the end of that movie. You know, it's like,
you know what?
It's back.
Here's the best thing about that. What just happened with me and Mike? All right, that is the moment I cried in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That is the moment I just fucking cried for now. But the best thing is, this movie, all of this was uncertain. It could have gone either way because of new stewardship, new directorship, new characters, new. We don't know what's going to happen. Is it just going to be regurgitated shit? That moment, that ending, they earned it.
Mm-hmm.
They earned what's happening right here.
Yeah.
They could have just been like, and icing on the cake, bring us our cash, you know? They earned it.
They totally did. But you know what else? Who earned it like we did?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And seriously, we did, because we paid for it. And all right, this is it. The look on his face spoke 2 sentences at once. It said nothing, really. However, what it really said to the film was, here we go. But what it said to me was, it's going to be okay. I don't know why. You know? Like, I just felt like I saw my dad for the first time, and it was so cool, you know? It was really emotional, and I'm stoked, and I'm embarrassed that we're going to put this out in front of everybody. But,
you
like,
know, but I love it. I fucking love it. Like, this is why I was so excited to record. It's because all three of us are feeling that, and it's not just us. Like, it's like all across the world, people are excited about Star Wars again, and like, it feels good to have that redemption. You know, it's like, it feels good to, like, it's like going back home. It's like going back and seeing your family after like a long like estrangement. You know, it's like Mike said, it was feeling like everything's going to be okay now. You know, it's like, it feels like we're back on track, and I know it's silly to equate fiction with something so powerful and personal and emotional, but it is a big part of our lives. You know, it's like the three of us have dedicated huge portions and huge amounts of money to this franchise. Like, and no one's going to debate whether or not it's like it's silly or if like whatever. Like, that's not the question. Like, we're not having that discussion right now. What we're discussing is the fact that there's a bunch of people that are dedicated to this, and it has a huge fan following, and it just paid off for them. Like, after years and years and years, it's finally paid off. Like, you know, like, and it was a more powerful ending than even Return of the Jedi, because if we're being honest, Return of the Jedi wasn't the ending that Star Wars deserved. You know, it wasn't a bad ending. I don't want to say it was a bad ending. It was a good movie ending, but that wasn't the ending that Star Wars deserved. And I think, if anything, this is like probably the second best ending in Star Wars. The first being the end of Empire with like the shot. And I will say that was the only thing I didn't like about that last scene, was I didn't feel like there was that Star Wars closing shot where because like Star Wars to me, like, it always ends with that portrait. You know, it's like that portrait moment where it's like
Right.
people standing. Like, I kind of almost wish there was like that moment, and it would have ended on Luke's face with like over her shoulder, just holding it like out, and then they just kind of froze and held it for a second,
Yeah.
and then cut. You know, it's like the big. It was a beautiful shot. Don't get me wrong. It was
Yeah.
a gorgeous shot, but like the big aerial shot with them swooping around and everything, I felt it was a little too much artistically.
I thought it was.
But
Yeah,
it was still gorgeous.
It was a breakaway from the style, but I agree. It was also. It just was a helicopter shot in Ireland.
Yeah, and like
It wasn't spacey enough, you know.
yeah, it wasn't awful like that. And that was the other
No.
thing that I love about this is like I'm coming out, and that's one of my main complaints. Like legitimately, that's one of my biggest
Exactly.
complaints about the film is like the way they shot the last scene. Like, and it's not even the last scene. Like the last scene was brilliant. It was well acted. It was well directed. It was well written. But ironically enough, like well written, no dialogue. But you know, whatever. But it's like if that's the hairs we're splitting at this point.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm so happy.
It's
Right.
It's nothing. It's a nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, I didn't see that coming when I badgered you into this.
No, I'm glad. I'm so glad. Like, and you know, it's like I love that Mike says like I feel kind of embarrassed now. Don't be, because I think you just had that moment that so many of us had. You know, it's like, and I don't know how many people I saw on Facebook talking about they cried during the film, or like on Twitter, like they cried after or before when the credits rolled, when the first scroll came out. You know, it's like everyone had that moment, and I think it's really kind of telling that like all three of us kind of picked that one moment with Luke and Rey being like a powerful emotional moment for us, especially in a movie where Han Solo dies. Like that's not the point that made me cry. You know, it's like the one that made me misty was that last shot we were just talking about. So
Yeah. That's twice you got me, Abrams. You fucker. Just one in Lost, you son of a bitch.
yeah. So
Cool. All right. Well,
so let's wrap this up and let you guys get some tissues.
yeah.
And then
I need to hug
you want to go
something.
ahead and do Republicoms, and we'll wrap it up for this week's recording, and then
Yeah,
we'll come
that's a
back.
good plan.
Yeah. So you might notice after the next segment we're going to have change shirts. Like I said, we're going to break this up. But
Yeah,
honestly, the
you know.
way we're going to release it, it seems like it's just going to be like constant content now for like the next week or two. So hopefully you guys won't even notice the break in recording. But we're going to go ahead and finish this up, do Republicoms. But till then, head over to vorradio.com. What can they find there, guys?
Well, you can find videos and audios and the place to call us anytime you want to. I thought I had the phone number here. I just ruined my song.
I just wrote it.
407.
407 409 8749, I believe. If you go to our Twitter, if you go to our Facebook page, those are all on there. I can't believe I don't have it written down here. I thought I put it on here.
It would have been a perfect episode, Ed, too. Like, you just ruined it.
Yeah, no, this is what I do. But you know what?
You were a helicopter shot in Ireland. Movie
Fuck.
ruined.
I'm even wearing a green shirt. No, my phone number is correct. 407-409-8749. But if you're watching here on YouTube, comment below and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, never miss an episode because we got more coming at you.
Yes, we do. So,
Rainbow Net.
but until then, may the force
Be with.
Your asses.
my wife.